For years, Call of Duty players have been asking Activision to make older games playable again. Hey, get ripped! Players aren't looking for a remake filled with new skins, not Black Ops 2 maps that were awkwardly dropped into another game. People wanted to turn their console on, load up the original Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and play the game that they remembered. Activision has finally done that, right? We've all been super excited about this. Black Ops and Black Ops 2 were now available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for a moment, and it looks like one of the easiest wins Call of Duty has had in years. So what happened? Well, next thing you know, the hackers showed up, and within days, players reported modded lobbies, altered stats, instant prestige unlock like you get in Plutonium, which I kind of like that about Plutonium, to be honest with you. Not that I've used it. And exploits in general that could interfere with somebody's progression in the game, which people are very upset about, rightfully so. So Activision managed to bring back one of the most beloved Call of Duties ever made, charge people $40 for it, and it seemingly carry over one of the biggest reasons people stopped playing the old version. The point is, I'm fucking blind, this should have been, impossible to mess up. People already love Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Get shit on. People already love these games. Activision did not need to convince anybody that the game was good. They just needed to do one simple thing. Make sure it worked. Let's break this down a little bit more. Black Ops 2 was one of the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 specifically is what we'll be talking about in the video, seeing as how, that's what's on the screen. Black Ops 2 was one of the most celebrated games in the entire franchise. It had maps, weapons, progression systems, zombies content, and generally, or a general identity that people remember playing. Activision didn't need to rebuild the game or reinvent the game. They simply needed to give modern PlayStation owners a way to play it. Can I get my C4 back? Thank you. Now, Xbox, this has been backwards compatible on Xbox for years, so all they need to do is deliver this to the PlayStation players. The re-release included campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, and it was developed as a port rather than a full remaster, and that distinction matters, right? Because most players were not necessarily expecting a completely remade game. However, they could reasonably expect a newly sold version to be properly supported and secured, right? Which is a huge thing, because you want to be able to play the game not quite like it's a brand new game, but have the support of a brand new game. If you're going to re-release it and sell it for, I think it was $20 a pop, right? So $40 to play these new games. New games, air quotes. Alright, my bad. Black Ops 2 currently cost, I had to Google it real quick. Currently costs $39.99 on the PlayStation Store. I really hope that's right. Sometimes Google be wrong. The Season Pass reportedly costs about another $29.99. So you're looking all in at like, dude, I used to love the Ghost camo. Shit was fire. So like I said, that's about $70 before tax, depending on what state you're in. I live in Delaware. That's not necessarily a giant issue for me. Buying both Black Ops games and their DLC will roughly run you about $140. That price starts to look at how people are going to play these games, if they're going to want to, right? Because why are we playing old games that are going to be unsupported for $140? I almost got heated over a hit marker. Now, had Activision added these games to a subscription service or sold them cheap as preservation releases, people might have been more forgiving of some of the limitations that they had. But at $40 per base game, customers and people and players and all this shit, right? They want these games to be treated as legitimate modern products with support. The hacking problem is a huge issue too. Players have reportedly encountered these exploits, right, that have been around in the backwards compatible versions for a long time. But these exploits involving max prestige, unlocked content, inflated stats, negative XP manipulation, just a bunch of bullshit that we've kind of been dealing with for quite a few years here. Now, some playlists are being reportedly disabled while Activision starts to investigate this issue that they have on their hands. And that is more serious than someone using an obvious aimbot during a match, right? Part of the appeal of revisiting these old games, is rebuilding your account, unlocking these weapons, progressing through prestige systems. I've seen so many clips of people finally unlocking, the Ballista, the M8, or The MSMC was my gun that I was super stoked to finally get a hold of. And progressing through the prestige system. Now, when we have hackers that could instantly modify that progress, that takes away a large part of the experience. Imagine, as you know, somebody that's been grinding to get to level, I think it's 43 for the ballista. Finally, level 43 for the ballista. You run into a guy that has like an hour played, probably less than that, and they have everything. It's not going to make you feel very, very good about your time spent or the $40 that you spent on the game. Now we have to talk about something fairly seriously. Nostalgia is pretty much the entirety of the reason behind this release. That's pretty much the whole thing. Nostalgia is the entire business model behind Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 coming back out. And honestly, like, from that side of things, the business perspective, I don't blame them. People aren't buying Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 because it has cutting-edge graphics and gameplay. They're buying it because they remember coming home from school back in 2013 and being able to grind it out with their friends, load into raids, standoff, zombies, whatever it is, the campaign, right? And staying online, you know, playing for hours on end with your boys. That's what people bought these re-releases for, right? That emotional connection is the whole point behind this. Activision knew that. That's why it has all the familiar maps, characters, weapons, all this bullshit. And that it continues to play such a large part in the marketing of the Call of Duty game. Now, this is why players in general struggle to trust these Call of Duty re-releases, because every time somebody asks for this, there's an underlying concern that Activision will find the lowest effort way to make money from them. I feel like they did a good job with Modern Warfare Remastered, and that's been about the only time. These PlayStation versions reportedly improved the resolution, but lacked tons of shit that people might associate with a more substantial modernization, such as the high refresh rate supports, an FOV slider, which we see here on Plutonium. Players have also debated, you know, possible input lag devices and issues. Some people are saying you have to plug your controller in to your PlayStation to have proper, to not have input lag. And that's more found from what I'm seeing online, you know, on Reddit and shit, which is obviously a notable news source. In the original Black Ops, not so much Black Ops 2. And now we have the hacking reports that are finally appearing. Now, the frustrating part about all of this, right, is that Black Ops and Black Ops 2 generated a very considerable amount of attention, with reports that the game climbed PlayStation sales charts shortly after they came out, right? Like, which I'm not surprised by in the slightest. Generated considerable attention, right? Climbing PlayStation charts very, very shortly after they were put out, which again I'm not surprised by in the slightest. This demonstrates that Call of Duty should pay attention to what people want, and that is this old style of Call of Duty. I made a video about this not too long ago. People want this old style of COD. This is what people are yearning for. Like the joke that the children play Minecraft, they are yearning for the mines, right? We have Call of Duty players that want this style of COD back, and we want it back yesterday. They want complete games with recognizable maps, straightforward progression. We want great zombies experiences, right? That's a big deal for me on this channel. We play a lot of custom zombies and a lot of zombies in general, some of the old school retro zombies. And they want multiplayer that does not feel like it's designed around how much money they can make off of their players by selling the next bundle or battle pass or fucking season upgrade or whatever the fuck they're doing these days. I'm very out of touch. I thought about making Black Ops 7 videos, doing camo grind videos. So in general, right, in conclusion, right, the frustrating part is that BO1 and BO1 and BO2 did not need to be remade into this game that is slightly different or completely different depending on where you look at it from. Most players would have been happy with the original game. Stable online experience is a big one, and reasonable security, enough support to keep the hackers from controlling the public matches. That is a low bar for a game being sold again in 2026. Activision had an opportunity to show people that it understood why these older games mattered, and instead, they as a company created the impression that it understands the financial value of Call of Duty's history better than it understands the responsibility of preserving that history. Maybe Activision fixes the hacking problem quickly. Hopefully it does, because BO2 and BO1 deserve to have a second legitimate life on PlayStation. But the customers should not have to purchase a $40 re-release and then wait to find out whether multiplayer is safe enough to play. Games are expensive. Life is expensive. We shouldn't be dumping all this money. And again, they didn't need to make the game good. It was already good. They just needed to stop it from being ruined. Sorry for the second cut com rant video that we've done in recent memory. We're back to zombies here very shortly. I actually want to make a Call of the Dead video. My buddy made one. Call of the Dead starting area challenge. My buddy made one, so I feel like I'm going to be making one here soon. So yeah, zombies and regular multiplayer stuff where it's not me bitching about Call of Duty. We'll be back soon. I wanna get back to our nuke series that you guys like so much. And I think I'm gonna start though this game is not going so hot. I think I want to start some kind of swarm series or maybe camo grind on plutonium. Who knows? We'll see. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.